Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is Joe Scarice, your co-founder and co-host of the Creative Birth Strategy House and podcast here on Clubhouse every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, providing education, networking, and strategy. So we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Going to invite some people in to our Clubhouse room, and a lot of discussion to be made about a lot of things that are going on today. So the mindset matters in real estate strategies, I think is almost a perfect timing to where we're going things in life as general. So let me plug some people in and invite some peeps in and get rocking and rolling. And we'll dig into this in a few minutes. What a wonderful podcast we had last week with Pad Split. We hit thousands of views following that podcast. Thousands. It was unbelievable. Um, so I have some really interesting announcements to make regarding the growth of the podcast as well. So we'll go over that in just a few minutes. Let me just get myself started here. So some big announcements as of last week. Maybe some of you saw this. I accepted a position as a regional sales advisor at Truly Investor Capital, where now I'm offering not just a true broker portal, but also extending a referral partnership program as well for real estate professionals nationwide. I did apply the link up top. I could walk anybody through. And then for the direct investor, you could always request a quote as well. So the software is immense. Sales operations at Landmark ceased as of September 30th. I had to transition very quickly. I was out in Long Island and Long Beach representing Landmark at the time when I was notified at 4:30 in the afternoon. So it was a lot of things going on here. It was a lot of moving parts. Things are settling down a little bit. Week one, thank God. And I'm very happy with the transition itself. So there was a couple bumpy roads. Obviously week one when you're drinking from the fire hose. And I kind of think the mindset matters in real estate strategies kind of ties into all this. But first, I want to thank uh, our sponsors as always, because without them, we wouldn't be here. So I want to make sure that we recognize them. One, I want to recognize Mr. Yardo Perkins of Perkatech. He was intricate with this transition and keeping my head on straight, along with my wife Donna. Which was, if she wasn't with me, I don't know what I'd be doing with getting the transition taken care of. I want to thank, but again, Yardell Perkins of Perkatech. I want to thank MB Capital Solutions and their support. As always, I'm a referral partner for them, providing unsecured business lines of credit. I want to thank Real Estate Mastermind Strategies, where I'm holding events. We held it down and still had the events during this transition over the last 10 days. If I tell you what happened from September 30th to this Friday, you just would be absolutely amazed. And I want to thank Linda Pelagas, actually, Realty 411. She is setting me up with some interviews of some podcasts coming up in the immediate future for the podcast here on Sunday morning. She's plugging away on a couple of those. We're going to potentially look at some bigger events in late 2025 or early 2026. We are sponsoring two of the Pace Morby events, or three, four, five, Baltimore, New York, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, and Philadelphia. I'll be sponsoring all five of those with his tour in December during the holiday times. So we're going to cap off a really good year with the relationship with Sub2 community and the real estate mastermind strategy. So really great stuff happening still. So it's not like this bump in the road meant a hell of a lot. But if anybody would like to walk through the Truly Investor Capital website and be interactive, please let's set up a call. I had a transition over 62 loans at one time over to 64 over to Truly, plus another 40 I had to put with another fund to make sure that they close accordingly. So there's a lot of moving parts going on over the past 10 days. But I think this week I'll be battling just understanding certain pieces of the software, which I'm getting better now. I'm when you do something 100 times, you become almost like a ninja in the software. So if anybody would like to take some time to go into the software, it's right up above. You can go in there. You could become a referral partner, a broker partner. You could become, or you could be a direct investor. We could do all three different things, depending on where you want to go with things on this. So today's discussion kind of really ties in with this. The mindset matters in real estate strategies, right? But I want to go into some articles and some concerns I see on the rates in the market coming up. The rates are like conventional rates at 6.32, coupon rate for commercial lending is at 5.5, 5.25. It's kind of steadfast right now with the government shutdown. I have some light concerns with that. It's obviously a political play or ploy between parties. Hopefully, this settles out. There's a lot of people right now not getting paid and working. So it's a very uncomfortable feeling for a lot of people. And, how will that impact, foreclosures and potential recessionary environments in certain markets is yet to be seen. Certain states are starting to pop their heads up a little bit with higher risk, more of the heavier ones up in the Northeast, of course. Midwest might get hit a little bit. Southeast will be a little bit. But I could see higher percentages in certain markets of state economies, falling toward recession. So I've been reading some articles and data on that. I'll be posting those articles over the next couple days with some concerns. I've been re-putting out some new newsletters on my newsletter on LinkedIn, and then it's posted at all the other websites and pages as well. But I would have some concerns with recessionary environment, foreclosures as well, and delinquencies. I'm more concerned about delinquencies than the foreclosure because you're not going to see foreclosure for a little bit. So that's a concern that I might have a little bit, depending on the government shutdown currently. Obviously, Senate and Congress are getting paid, but nobody else is getting paid. So I'd keep an eye on that as a real estate professional and how that will impact your client if they're working for the government, right? They're not collecting W-2s right now, so they can't do a documented loan. I mean, think about the common sense to that denominator. So I'd be a little concerned, just keep your eyes out on that. I think we're going to stay in investor market quite a while. There are some blighted markets right now that we have to keep an eye out for, or certain states that we got to keep an eye out for, just based on because of their geopolitical economy environment. So keep an eye out for that stuff as well. I will be posting articles this week on all that. So we're going to get back hot and heavy with the with the marketing. I had to take a minute just to kind of get my thoughts together with this massive transition, which I think is going to be unbelievable with the software they have provided me. They literally gave me a Lamborghini with flat tires in my driveway with keys in the car where I have a jack to open up the door. That's what they basically gave me. So by the end of this week, it would be unbelievable. My goal is to sign up at least 500 brokers for the white label and 500 referral partners in the referral program by the end of the year. That is a goal I'm setting for myself. Maybe it's aggressive, maybe it's not. I don't know. So let's talk about mindset handling professional position moves in real estate, because I think this completely ties into what happened to me over the past 10 business days. Adopting a bridge builder mindset, each position or partnership you take should add to your professional bridge, connecting past achievements with future opportunities. Think in terms of platforms, not jobs. So I wanted the right platform, not the right job. I wanted the right platform for my clients, and that would be the perfect position for me, right? And operating with alignment over attachment and staying transparent but strategic. I stayed as transparent as I could in communication with every single client. We're talking 100 files and broker relationships that I did not want to burn up in flames, right? Communicate value based, not circumstantial reasoning, and keep relationships warm. So, like for the realtors that are listening below, when you're transitioning from one real estate company to another, it could be daunting for some people. They've been with a company for X amount of time, and now they're transitioning and changing flags. It's a lot for some people, right? For me, this was because of some of the holistic work I do. It wasn't as daunting for me, but it was daunting maybe for my clients because they didn't understand. But I stayed as much in communication as I could based on updates, and then you focus on the momentum, not the titles, right? Momentum is the currency. Title shifts. Momentum is the currency, right? Keep your daily rhythm, outreach, social presence, deal activity uninterrupted. Using transitions to announce new value propositions. So I had posted a update to people, letting people think I have a big announcement, and I kept posting. I never stopped the marketing. I never stopped my Google team from marketing. We're actually rolling out, and for anybody that wants to be involved with this, we are rolling out a PR news blast update to hit 500 newsletters for the podcast. I'd love to recognize anybody below listening in that's been consistently linking up with me in this podcast. And we're going to put that out to 500 newsletters through PR News. The same for Joseph E. Scarice, nationwide direct private lender, for the Truly link for the new platform. The same will be for the real estate mastermind strategies events as well. So we're going to create funnels. Like I didn't take a step back and cry in the corner. I manned up and cowboyed up and did what I had to do. And it's working out quite well with the team that I'm transitioning with. I'm bringing over my entire processing department. They're quitting. They didn't like what because there's a consolidation back to the hedge fund that Lenmark is owned by. They don't want to work for them. They want to work with me because I treated them correctly. I didn't manifest chaos at any given time to anybody. So my mindset always stayed very clear with communication. I think communication is the key for mindset. And what matters to real estate strategies, right? Mindset matters. Emphasize that success in real estate isn't only about the numbers of the deals. It's about how investors think, adapt, and persist. The most successful real estate professionals share one trait: they approach challenges strategically and with resilience. Some core talking points: investor mindset versus employee mindset, abundance over scarcity, embracing adaptability, long-term vision, continuously learning. So during this transition, Yardell and I are transitioning the Zoom base platform for the podcast to StreamYard because we want to be on LinkedIn and Twitter live at the same time as Facebook and YouTube before we load it up to Buzzsprout and load it up to all the other buckets that are out there for podcasts. So it wasn't like we stopped anything during this 10 days, right? Some tagline ideas that you got to think about: change your mindset, change your portfolio. The psychology behind real estate success. Strategy starts between your ears. And my final thoughts before we go to our moderators, of course. Mindset, goals, real estate investing strategies, right? Mindset, goals, and investing strategies in real estate designed for serious real estate professionals like ourselves who want to elevate performance and consistency and long-term growth. It's the foundation of mindset, investor versus consumer thinking. The consumer asks, what can I buy? The investor asks, what can I build or control that creates cash flow? Adopt a builder's mindset, focusing on creative systems and value, not chasing deals. Abundance versus scarcity. There's no shortage of capital or deals, only a shortage of prepared operators. I tell people there's more money than real estate for the rest of our lifetime because of the hedge fund asset-based lending space, the space that I'm in. Stay solution oriented. When a deal looks tight, how can I make this work instead of why won't this work? And the long game focus: real wealth compounds through cycles. Think in decades, act in quarters, build relationships, not transactions. Keep learning every market shift, rates, regulation, demographics, creating new opportunities. Resilience through data, tracking your metrics. Using numbers to make confident decisions under pressure. Emotion kills deals. and some goals you want to set for yourself. Define your why. Set smart financial targets, system goals, not just outcome goals. So again, that's something we're setting right now for the fourth quarter because of this pivot. Quarterly reviews, like Yardell and I talk almost every week just to go over things. Where are we at? Where are we at on episodes? What's our numbers? What kind of announcements can we make through some of this additional marketing we're putting together? So it's quite relevant to what you're doing. Some strategies to the execution level, core investment focus. Choose one or two lanes and master them. Creative financing mastery, risk management, and building in relationship equity. Build visibility through your through this podcast or maybe a podcast interview or masterminds. We had a mastermind yesterday in Philadelphia. We had 14 people in the room. It was transformational. It was like having 100 people in a room. We were there from 10 to 12. We went right down deep the rabbit hole. And we went all different directions and based on a subject matter. Position yourself as the connector in your market, not just another leader. So I do these podcasts every Sunday morning. Initially I did this to assist in bringing back my vocabulary skills, being a stroke survivor. But now it's become a habit of just getting good content out to my network and others' networks. So think about this and how it will impact you in your real estate strategies when you have to pivot, you have to reset, pick your lanes. It's a lot of things to think about. So, Amy, good morning. I don't even know if you know about my transition, but welcome. Brief overview of who you are, what you do, and I'm sure you saw some things on LinkedIn and Facebook or whatever where we were connected.
I did. And I guess it's congratulations.
Yes.
I'm always a fan of change, so I think it's a good thing when we stir the pot and reevaluate where we are, because us as humans we get a little complacent, right? And so it's always a good thing.
Well, it was weird. Like I'm out in Long Island representing this company, and at 4:30 they tell me they're shutting down the operations.
Wow.
Yeah, and Long Island's not a quick ride home. So I'm on the phone on my screen call, making phone calls, changing things around. It was a little much on a Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? God's always got a plan. He's got you, and so it's all good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be good that comes out of this. It always does. That's what he does for us. So it's really cool when that happens. I mean, yeah, we've all kind of gone. I mean, I've had the rug pulled out from underneath me several times. I mean, it's like you're in business long enough, right? It's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. Things that you think are going to, you're plotting one direction and you think things are going to be, it's going to be just fine. And you're building and you're doing all these great things and you're working towards something, and all of a sudden it's gone in an instant. And then you're like, but what the good thing is, what you were saying about before was, yes, all of those activities can now just be directed somewhere else. Right. So the activities don't stop, because the activity is what you learned how to do. Is you take that and now apply that energy to something that you think will be more fruitful. It's totally fine. There's a little bit of, when that happens to you, there's a little bit of grieving, and you have to go through it, and it's fine, because it's a part of human nature. But you when you're in business for yourself, you don't have time to wait around to grieve. Like, you just gotta move on with life, right? And so it's kind of a interesting thing. So but you're gonna do fine, Joe. You always do.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, what happened here though? You have to take a look at the software when you get a chance above. It gave me everything I wanted.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it actually worked out quite well, because I've been looking for this software. My company at Landmark wasn't going to never going to get this. This is never going to happen. Not in my lifetime or their lifetime. And obviously their lifetime is done. So, I mean, it was a very quirky platform, and I had to work around the quirks. Here, it's all on one platform.
Wow, that's cool. That's awesome.
So, what's your thoughts to Mindset Matters? A little background on yourself and.
Amy Palvido. I have a couple of hats. I am a real estate developer. I run the CEO of Red River Infrastructure, where we build data center and industrial parks. I'm also the CEO of Facilimax, which is a prop tech company, and which prop tech is a real estate technology. And then I'm also the chairwoman of the U.S. PropTech Council, which is the trade association for the real estate technology industry in the United States. So I do those three things. And I'm out on a walk because I usually am walking at this time of the morning. So heavy breathing because I have hills in Austin, Texas, and I am from Austin, Texas, y'all. So, okay. Regarding this, and I've been a long-time real estate investor. I've been an investor since 2008. So I've been doing it for just a hot second. All right. So as far as mindset, like I will say, for me, when I'm going about my day, you're gonna run up against lots of things where you're in business for yourself, right? I've been in business for myself since 2003 because I was a construction. I own a construction company, and you're gonna run into a lot of things. And what I found is that you have to manage not only your mindset, but you also have to manage your energy. And throughout the day, there's gonna be times when you don't want to do things, like just absolutely don't. Like this morning, did I want to go on a walk? No, I did not. I have to walk every day because I feel better when I do. But you're constantly listening to negative voices, people telling you no all the time. In your business, you get told no all the time. And if it does, it's not like it doesn't impact you. Of course it does. Like when you're told no over and over and over and over, it's not that you can't be successful. And not that you're not going to feel it. Of course you're going to feel it, but you still move ahead anyway. So mindset is the ability for someone to be successful. And mindset really is you're just going to do it anyway, even if you don't feel like it, even if you don't think it's going to work, you go out there. But the one thing you got to understand is that energy sells. And so you really need to preserve whatever you can on your energy. So if you're walking into a big client meeting, you need to get excited because excitement sells. So you have to, whatever it is you have to do, you have to have this energy. You have to have this excitement, especially when you're walking into a big customer meeting, which I did the other day. And I was like, look, this is going to be, and I've been told no 1,000 times. We're a startup, right? And so I've been like, hey, we need to do this and we're going to do this and this is going to be great and blah, blah, blah. And we ended up selling that client, right? But if I had walked in there and did not have that energy, it probably might not have gone well. But that's, your mindset matters. Your mindset matters, especially in certain interactions. Don't think that it doesn't. At the end of the day, when you're business for yourself, you're a salesman. All you do is sell, and you have to be able to do that. And if you don't have the energy for that, don't walk into the room. Don't do it. It's not going to go well. No matter how excited they are for the product, if you're not excited, you're not going to sell anything. So you have to guard and check. And the last thing I would say on my half a nickel this morning is have people around you that you listen to that will tell you the truth. They're going to check you. Like, especially if you're walking into a big situation and they're going to like, Amy, you're not selling it right now. Like, nah, no, that's not good enough, right? You have to have people that be willing to tell you not just what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. You have to have those people. And if you don't have those people, find somebody. Somebody who's brutally honest with you, because they're going to tell you what nobody else is telling you. And it's always great to have them, right? And sometimes they're going to tell you the good things that nobody's telling you either, right? So it's not just the bad things, but there you go, half a nickel.
Half a nickel. Enjoy the walk. Listening in. Amy touched on something, personal energy in real estate strategies, right? Connecting your mindset, performance, and leadership with investing and deal making, right? Energy is the ultimate currency. And your mindset fuels momentum and protecting your bandwidth. Burnout kills most real estate careers than bad deals. Protect your energy by setting boundaries, delegating non-revenue tasks, and surrounding yourself with people who elevate your thinking. The goal is to work from your energy, not against it. I can tell you for a fact, Thursday and Friday, my phone did not stop ringing from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just nonstop ringing. Like literally, I was on a call, somebody was calling in, I was calling that person back. But I stayed as focused as I could. I don't know how that's going to look down the road, but I feel like with this new platform, it's gonna give me a whole new lane of people to deal with over the next 30 days. My conversation with people is going to be different over the next 30 days in every so much different ways. I basically could just send them this link, and life is maybe a little easier in handling the inbound and connection over conversation. Authentic energy builds lasting relationships. Whether you're networking, lending, or negotiating, people remember how your presence makes them feel. When you lead with genuine enthusiasm and service, business naturally compounds, just like interest. People are going to come and go. There's a lot of people out there that want to waste your time. Okay. And you got to clip those, and that includes in my space with brokers and referral partners. So you got to think about that. So there's a lot of people that are just going out of their way to waste your time. There's a lot of people that don't listen when you give them the directive to be better real estate professionals too. And you got to remind those people and stay as calm and cool as collective as you can. Recharging to reinvent. Top producers intentionally recharge through exercise, rest, travel, or learning. Renewal keeps creativity alive, sharpens your strategic thinking, and treats your energy like an asset class. Diversifying how you invest in and protect the yield it produces. Like last night, I went to dinner with my wife, went to listen to some great music. We had a great time. Today, we're doing the podcast, and then we're going to the gym. I'm going to do a lot of health things today. I'm going to go over to Restore Wellness, do a couple things there, get my mind on the ball things. So strategic aligning and your personal energy is your competitive advantage. Market shifts, rate changes, but energy, disciplined, authentic, and intentional. It's what separates professionals from performers. The best strategies start not in the spreadsheet, but in the state of the person behind it. Felix, good morning and welcome. Brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to mindset matters in real estate strategies.
Felix Buchanan Sr. Grand Rising, everybody. Thank you, Joe, as always. Buchanan Biz Enterprises, the J-Links Group, team leader of Keller Williams Legacy Team. In real estate, if you don't have a strong mindset, you will not survive, period. This is one of those businesses that you have to be able to shift. You need to be consistent because the consistency helps develop you being confident in yourself, and the confidence helps build a strong mindset. You got to be disciplined. Discipline is key because without the discipline, then you're not going to be as consistent. You're not going to do everything that's necessary to make sure that when you have the tough times or you have to make the pivots or the adjustments, then you're not going to be ready for them. You're not going to understand them. You're not going to want to do it because it didn't look like what you planned out. These were the goals that you set. And then now something has altered that goal. If you do not have that mindset within real estate to understand that this is going to happen, I don't believe there's anyone that I've ever done or associated with within real estate that says everything that you do within a real estate deal goes 100% because of the fact that there's so many different moving parts within real estate, whether it's the title company, whether it's the lender, whether it's the hard money lender, commercial lender, whether it's the buyer or seller, someone has some type of qualm, something that they don't like within the deal, and you have to make adjustments in that particular position. And if you're not and don't have the mindset to think in that manner, then no shifts are going to kill your business, because then now it's like, oh, well, you said that you were going to do this and it didn't go this way, which I have multiple deals right now that, whether it's the seller's agent that's acting this way, or that, someone doing something that without allowing us to get into a property. If you don't know how to pivot and move around those things, then it causes people to be frustrated or stressed out, because now what I anticipated that would have or should have happened, it didn't happen. So now I'm sitting here, crying or complaining, which that doesn't show that you know how to move, and it's going to cost you clients, because some clients want to see how you're going to work when adversity happens. So without that strong mindset, without the abundance of knowledge, without having the proper mentors, because the proper mentors will help set you up to let you know that, hey, these things are going to happen, and this is the mind frame that you need to be in as those things happen. And of course, with practice and doing it consistently, it'll, change that. That's my knowledge and wisdom for today.
Thank you, Felix. And Felix, I want to personally thank you for sticking with me with this transition. This was the most insane move that I think I've ever had to do within 7 days. If you saw what I had to do in 7 days, and then to have what I have that's up above us in the link is, I think, a triple hat trick at a hockey game. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's like that Lynn Swan catch that Bradshaw threw up in the air, or that one that busted off the helmet of one of the Raiders and went into Franco Harris's hands. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you think about it, the whole white label thing that we've been talking about, right? How surreal is it now with this platform? I mean, I know you probably went in there and played around with it a little bit. I mean, is it a game changer from what you're doing?
Well, I haven't gotten to sign in just yet. So I am looking forward to it, just based off of the fact that your level of excitement alone just kind of fuels me. With have worked with you over the years, and I know that you don't do things unnecessarily or without proper due diligence. So with the fact that you're excited about what platforms and different things that it can provide for us, once I get in, I'm looking forward to playing with it and giving you my feedback as well.
Yeah. I went on it as an applicant. Okay. Okay, so by Wednesday afternoon, I had 3 offer letters on my desk. Okay. And I had to really make a decision by Friday because I was transitioning, moving things around.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I saw the software for just the real estate agent being a referral partner where I could pay them marketing dollars, and then I saw the broker portal, and then I saw hey, get a quote as an investor. I'm like, all this is on one thing. They're like, yeah. No, look at your website. They had my website. They set up a sample website by Wednesday night for me to look at to sell me on coming onto this. None of the other companies had it. And none of the other companies were, yeah, we kind of do white label, but we don't really have the software for it. We kind of do this. So we're working on that in the first quarter and second quarter. Like none of them had at least a really visual what can they do now and what are they going to where they're going to be in the next quarter, right?
Right.
And I felt like this was the most comfortable move that made sense for my clients, for my referral partners, for my brokers, and it gave me discipline to focus on it for 2 or 3 days, getting everything up. Now, obviously, the loan that we're working on was glitchy because it was the timing connecting the software. But now it's on track. I just saw it just notified me yesterday that it's on track. So I'll get caught up with you as well. And you brought up a very specific term that I want to go to before we get to Steve as well, is discipline strategies in real estate. Discipline builds freedom, consistency over intensity, and the power of routine, right? Morning mindset reset, reading, journaling, prayer, meditation. Hey, every Sunday morning we're here, right? Pipeline check-in, market pulse review. We talk about rates, trends, opportunities, relationship outreach, add value first, right? Structuring breeds stability, and stability builds success. Emotional discipline and decision making, financial decision, accountability and standards. We're not looking for the immediate gratification. We're kind of guys that look at the delayed. And discipline is a competitive edge. Talent gets your notice. Discipline keeps you relevant. In a business where emotions and markets, people shift daily, your commitment to disciplined action is what ensures long-term success. So when I say that, how do you feel about that in discipline, Felix?
I think that for what it is that we're moving forward to, I'm excited. Like I said before, I'm excited to see, what it will provide, how it'll help my clients better. You never go wrong with when you can implement a system that can help guide you through the process and bring simplicity to yourself as well as your clients.
Felix, thank you as always. We'll be talking very soon. And it's a transition that we all have to go through in life. Life is a transition every day, every week, every month, every quarter. I mean, you have some true transactional real estate professionals up here on the platform right now discussing mindset, and all of them have transitioned from one thing or the other. But you got to stay focused. Focus is the most important characteristic in real estate. Focus. Like I can teach somebody over and over and over again, but if they don't focus on what I show them to send back to me or do whatever it takes, it goes off the rails. Focus is everything. I mean, I can't emphasize it enough. When you lose your focus, people feel it, they see it, they hear it, they kind of know. But by the end of this week, I mean, maybe I might have lost a relationship or two because just my voice was different because I was under a lot of pressure trying to get this all up and running. And, that's okay. It happens. I'm sorry. Nothing I can do about that. But I think the reset button for this new company and what they're allowing me to do with my mindset to go out differently and talking to people is I'm excited. I'm beyond excited. Like my conversation now is going to be so much different than my conversation only 10 days ago. So focused strategies in real estate is a powerful mindset topic that ties directly into performance, deal flow, and longevity, right? Focus is the new superpower. In business full of distractions, new programs, social media noise, market volatility, focus separates professionals from the opportunists. The investor or lender who can lock in their core strengths, niche, and goals will always outperform the one chasing every shiny object. And I actually put an article out about chasing the shining object last week, if anybody's looking at that on LinkedIn. And defining your one thing. Clarity precedes focus. Decide what you're building. And are you scaling passive income and growing lending business and building a real estate portfolio, or are you creating a brand authority? Eliminate distraction. Don't just manage. Focus isn't about doing more, it's about doing less and better. Schedule time blocks for deep work, analysis, calls, strategies. Silence notifications during prospecting hours. Decline meetings that don't align with your priorities. Discipline protects focus and boundaries, protecting discipline. Know your mark and stay in your lane. Real focus means specialization, choosing your lane, whether it's lending, real estate, midterm rentals, short-term rentals, multifamily, single families. Focus. And energy environment matter. Focus drives in right environment. Surround yourself with high energy, solution driven people who keep you accountable. Create workspaces that support clarity. Organize, minimal, and intentional. Your physical space reflects your mental space. So, like example, like Yordell and I are setting milestones for this podcast, and I'm setting milestones from a updated marketing campaign to tie back to the podcast, tie back to myself, tie back to Perkatech, tie back to the meetings. That takes money, time, and focus. Review, reflect, refocus. Each week, review what worked, what didn't, where you drifted. Really align your efforts to your top 3 priorities. Small course corrections keep you on track toward long-term outcomes, especially when the market shifts or deals stall. The compounding effect of focus. And some additional thoughts. In real estate, success doesn't belong to the busiest. It belongs to the most focused. The pros who channel their energy toward one clear vision, day after day, will build what others only talk about, and focus is your edge, protected. Stephen, thank you for your patience and brief overview who you are, what you do, and thoughts to mindset matters in real estate strategies.
Hey Joe, thanks, and congratulations to you on the good move. And actually, as soon as I logged into that link we talked about last night, sorry for being so late on you last night. I was amazed. I was like, wow, he built all this, and now it kind of makes sense because this didn't look like something that an independent operator took a lot of effort to build that site. So congratulations to you for finding that company.
Thank you.
And really, the focus is the biggest part of it, and also sort of, you can fake it till you make it to a certain point. If you're tired, if you're whatever is going on in the real world, and you can hold out and you can keep a good face for a certain amount of time, but there comes a point where you need to shut down, like disconnect, take a day off, whatever that is, to reset. Because otherwise, if you start faking it too long, people start seeing it. So when you get overtired, when you get whatever, you just have to sort of take the focus away from the business and say, okay, this is something else I got to deal with, because people eventually notice. If they notice, then they start wondering, and it starts changing. But the biggest thing for me is that I've been working with over the last few months is building the systems to make it work better. And the systems and the team are really what you need. You've got your Dell for this, and so on and so forth. And that's really very much the key. And that mindset of always looking forward. And I know that we've all had those times in life where it's been, gee, I wish I had, or I should have, or whatever. Yeah, great. Feel that, move on, because the one thing that I taught myself years ago was what you should have done is not what you should do. And you have to put those negatives out of your mind and say, okay, yeah, but I'm here now. What's my forward step? And making sure that mindset is always, what's the next step? What's the most useful? What's the most whatever? Because that's the mindset that actually works. And the other thing that I've learned is that you can do everything. You just can't do it all at once. Okay, are you a salesperson? Are you a software developer? Are you this? Are you that? Probably all of them, if you wanted to. But which one are you now? So the mindset has to be, this is the most useful channel for me to develop right now. I've got 2 or 3 things on my plate that all of which I want to do, all of which I'm fairly close on. It's like, okay, which one am I going to focus on for the next month? I got the system built now. What am I focusing on for the next month? And that is key. And the last mindset for me has to always be generosity, giving back, whether it's volunteering, whether it's donations, whether it's whatever, having an eye toward that. Because first of all, that's wonderful and it helps a lot of things. But also, I think that reminds us that there is something bigger, whether it's God for you or whatever phrasing is. And it also puts out to the community that this person is doing more than just collecting dollars, doing more than just stacking it up. So the mindset is focused. The mindset is forget the mistakes of the past, not forget them, learn from them, and move on. And the mindset is, sort of abundance and giving back and making sure that comes first, whether it's giving back to your client or whatever it is. So really all of the mindset things, and I've gone back to old paper and pen. For me, I actually carry a little notebook now for things that I don't want to have get lost in. Gee, let me just text this to myself so I remember it later or whatever. That stopped working for me. So I'm like, okay, the mindset also has to be what's working for me now to keep all this straight. Like when you were getting those calls coming in and calls going back, you probably had a way of keeping track of what each conversation was, because after 8 hours of that, you can't remember it all. So always watching how your body and mind is responding to stuff, and maybe it's no longer, well, let me make a Word document. So that's pretty much it. Just kind of rehashing what a lot of folks have said. And when you start getting too tired, sign off for a couple of days. Take that break. That's what I got.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, Steve, it's interesting. Like I had some people say, hey, great, congrats on the transition. And they would text me like, hey, what do you think about this deal? I'm like, okay, were you in my class? And they're like, yeah. Do you remember that email I sent you to answer the questions and email back and read? Yeah. Well, why haven't you done that? Because I don't have the time to dig into be a sorcerer and be telepathic. And what are you thinking about this deal? I don't think anything. You know what I mean? So I think the professional now, they're so scattered that the focus is because they're just trying to shoot potato guns on everything that comes in and then shoot it back out. If you just took a couple extra minutes and threw structure towards something, back to somebody that's going to be able to field something. And Steve, I'm not picking on you. You know that. I want to make sure you know you're not. Listen, I have 50 Stephen Francos, okay, that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. But framework in anything in real estate is important because somebody can't visualize words or just small texts. You got to put it pen to paper. I mean, everybody in this room should have the accelerated account with ChatGPT. You want to know why? Everybody should answer back anybody in an email using and polishing their comments before they send them out. Because I think since I've added 3 new AI chat AI tools, my emails go back out much more focused to people when they're asking me a question. They break everything down to help me a little more to get some clarity, but I don't have to fake it till I make it. Like you used a very good term. That deserves a very empowering perspective, right? You know, playing the part, staying focused on specific questions and answers in real estate will get you success. You only got to take down one deal at a time. Amy, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think when you're talking about that example specifically, because of more and more people are starting to use chat or Grok or their LLM of choice.
Yeah.
The interactions you're going to get with their customers are going to change. They're not going to do the research because they can, at their fingertips, just get the answer to the question that they have in their brain. So for us as business people, I would really suggest that everybody start looking at creating an AI avatar, which is not a chatbot. It's different. It's a chatbot on crack because what it does is it consumes all of your content, all of your policies, all of your procedures, all of you and your knowledge, because it'll listen to every content that you've ever produced, Joe. And then you could go, you have a question about a deal, go, go to askjoe.com or go to your website and ask you, and it will answer in your voice and in your likeness and tell them the answer.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I pressed the wrong button when I was hearing your echo.
Yeah, but basically, I really think that this AI avatar thing will become real. I think customers are going to start expecting it. They're going to want answers instantaneously. And for us as business people, we need to change the way people want to do business. And an AI avatar will help you do that, right? I mean, if people want to get the questions immediately, they don't want to hear, and this isn't offense to you, Joe, but yes, you're already given the answer. We've probably given them the answer 10 times. They're just not going to retain the answer anymore because they know they can just ask the question and get it again. So we need to provide our service in that way, right? And AI avatars allow you to do that. So that would be my suggestion to everybody. And it's not, is it prevalent today? No. But will it become prevalent? Probably. I mean, as more and more people start using these AI tools and realize that they don't have to retain the information necessarily, if it's something that's not pertinent to them immediately, and they can just always ask and get the answer, I think it might be somewhere we go. Does it mean that all the human race becomes less intelligent? I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a different strategy on how we get the information now.
So Amy, you know what I find all this AI is helping me with?
Yeah.
Is staying focused. It's actually helping my focus.
Yep.
On every transaction. That's just my personal belief. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm getting more specific emails out for specific questions back, right, and I'm getting better feedback. My KPIs on response is through the roof now.
Yeah, but you can now have the avatar basically respond for you. Once you train it, so what you should be doing is you're using AI to handle these emails. Well, now that it understands you and you're like looking at it and blessing it, if you train that model, then it'll start answering for you. You don't even have to answer.
We're getting there.
You could get 10 answers done at the same time. You could still be answering some of them, but you could still have your model, your whatever you call it, your Joe, your twin answering these things for you, right?
Yeah, I think it's allowing me to go that direction. I have a few more things I have to do. Like we're going to be doing this PR blast. My mindset right now is focusing on letting everybody know the 500 billboards on social media, where I am, who I am, and what's my why. So my why right now is Joseph V. Scarice, nationwide direct private lender, offering direct to investor, direct to broker, white label, or referral partner. Okay. And then my next box is the Creative Birth Strategies podcast. Okay. And moving that to StreamYard this week, and then doing a celebrating our 150th episode and hit 500 social media billboards at the same time. Now, then real estate mastermind strategies going into November. All those events want to tie in. Now, this is the funny part. If you go to either Creative Birth Strategies podcast website, creativebirthstrategies.com, or josephvscarice.com, all the events link back on both of those pages with the events link. So all I'm doing is giving, ultralights to all three at the same time. I feel like 1,500 billboards all related to the same funnel. No one's not going to know that I'm not where I'm at. And there's no way they could say that. And that's in my mindset. I think that's how it's going to work. You know what I mean? And I got to focus on that and get to that point, which I know I'll be doing that sometime this week. Right.
Yeah.
So it's just, I feel like people are being distracted by so many directions. Like when I announced the transition last week, instead of people saying, hey, they would say congratulations. And then they try to sell me on something. I'm like, dude, just give me the congratulations. Like, you don't think I got 14,000 things going on at the same time? Like, literally, they would say, hey, congratulations on a new poll. Hey, what do you think about this new opportunity? What would you? I'm like, really? You would be amazed. I mean, Amy, has that happened to you when you make announcements?
Yes. I mean, like, so yeah, I think everybody's craving authenticity. It's been like that for a little while, but by him saying congratulations and then turning around and trying to sell you, he wasn't really congratulating. It just feels off-putting, right? And it's something that and look, I don't mind anybody hustling. Like, I'm always a fan of the hustle, right? I mean, you got to do it. You're a business person, whatever, but just do it in a way that's not offensive to people.
Yeah.
Like, stop offending people. I love those emails where somebody or these messagings where they're insulting you to try to get business, right? They're like, hey, your website sucks, and you should let me build your website. Like, I get those every occasion, and I'm like, yeah, but have you seen my sales? And oh, by the way, we already have somebody doing, but this is never going to get you business. Insulting somebody about how bad their stuff is never going to get you business. Like, you need to stop. Like, FYI. But that's what people did. It's weird.
Oh, yeah. I can help you with your podcast. I'm fine. I know what I got to do on my podcast. Don't worry about it. I don't need 14 other people to give constructive criticism all day. It's like this. We're like in this massive distraction, and that's what I think where mindset counts, man. I think it's all about the focus. I think it's all about the focus. I mean, can you focus? I literally, I had a colleague of mine. I had to vet to him because I had this guy literally. If I showed you the texts that this guy sent me, I would not even know what he's talking about. He took my class. He's like, hey, I want to get a DSCR on a 20 unit. That's for $500,000. He said, there's no 20 unit all the United States for $500,000 that doesn't need work. Okay, that doesn't exist. So you're asking me the wrong question. You're asking me, hey, you want to do a multifamily value add, and you need to tell me what the after repair value is and what the repair numbers are. Well, can you look at it and figure it out for me? I'm like, no, I don't have that. I don't have that kind of time. I'm like, listen, go back and do your homework with the black and white questions they send you, and then answer them back in red. Well, I don't mean to upset you. I'm like, listen, you're already upsetting me because you're not paying attention. Like it's like bone, with a dog. Hey, fetch, what I mean? Like squirrel, you know what I mean? So it's a very interesting perspective, and sometimes you just got to fire people. You know what I mean?
Tell him to go use his phone
Yeah.
and walk through the property and have Google or Gemini create his CapEx budget, because you can do that now,
But
which is crazy.
I know. I mean, listen, and you send the listing information. It almost could tell you what you need to do to the building and break it down. I'm like, but like logically, the guy did not, like he's already using the wrong terms, already using the wrong things, and he took a class with me, and I'm like, what part of the class did you miss? The entire part of the class, like everything. I'm like, focus.
I know.
It was a value added three numbers: after repair value, repair number, and your current purchase price. That's all I need to know.
For sure.
All that other stuff, all those other little bells and whistles, capex, and all that other stuff is very, like the performa. We'll get there, but like if you're going to do a fixed to rent, fixed to flip, boom, after repair value, repair number, purchase. If it's a DSCR, what's the completed value, or what are you buying it at turnkey? That's the first. That's focus.
So many things that can help him with that. If he doesn't know, that really just kind of shows you're an idiot. I'm just saying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Just know, like, this isn't hard.
Well, that's why we're expanding the class to 9 to 5. I just made a conscious decision that 2 hours just wasn't cutting it for people. They were walking away with more questions than answers. So I decided to, like, the way that we're doing the workshops now. One, now I have the perfect software for it, which you when you get a chance, Amy, take a look at it. And, when you get a chance. But two, I'm going to spend the whole day with you. I'm going to break it down, granulated. We're not going to be rushed. We're going to talk about SFR and know what SFR means. We're going to talk about multifamily, what multifamily means. We're going to break down mixed use and what that means, right? We're going to break down the questions whether it's fixed to rent, fixed to flip, or new construction for all three. Then we're going to talk about new construction, and then we're going to go bells and whistles and examples throughout the day. Okay, and then the night before, we're going to have a little focused mastermind with everybody the Friday night, whoever registers that can make it. And then Sunday, we do the podcast from the rooftop. And then 10 to 3, I'm there for one-on-ones for anybody that wants to come back. Wherever I'm holding these events. So like in Philadelphia, it's no. Yeah. So in Phil, I'm having a small 2-hour class in Lancaster this month, but starting in November, Philadelphia. Then in December, it's in central New Jersey. Then in January, it's in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And then February, I'll figure out another spot, maybe Delaware. Maybe then I'll do Maryland and I'll start expanding it once a month, a different location. And I think if we do it that way, and you put it, I'm not teaching it for free anymore. It's going to be a $50 point of entry. It's going to pay for the breakfast and lunch. And it's going to weed out the bullshit, and it's going to allow people to focus and be confident in what they're doing when they walk out the door. Listen, there's been a lot of people that sell this the idea of being a white label broker, and they put big price tags. They charge people thousands and thousands of dollars. You don't need to you don't need to do that. You know who we're talking about out there. There's so many. I went to a workshop at Aspire. They're charging people $25,000 to $250,000 to learn what I'm teaching for $50. So if you want to go spend the $25,000, knock yourself out, or you pay $50 for breakfast and lunch, and you stay focused for the whole day of 9 to 5. I had one guy come up to me, Amy. I kid you not. He said, "Hey Joe, can I just come half the day and figure it all out?" I'm like, "Oh well, listen." I said, "Well, listen. Then you're going to be kind of a half kind of guy." I said, "Listen, I'd rather you not come at all." How about I said,
he's trying to steal your content so he can do it.
Well, no, he's just lazy.
Oh, he's lazy.
He just can't. He doesn't think he can stay focused for 9 to 5. And I'm sorry to hear that. On a Saturday, you shouldn't have anything else to worry about. Put your phone on silent. Focus on an opportunity, which is going to give you a very focused lane of opportunities in a space that you're already in.
Yeah.
And that's mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure. Yeah. And, the cool thing about I'm the technology girl, y'all. So the room starts after this room, but the cool thing about all this content you're producing is, and the classes that you're teaching is that, it's going to really benefit you in the future, especially as AI gets smarter, and the things you're going to be able to do with it, because now it has something to learn on, is great. I mean, that's the cool that's the cool thing for sure.
Well, and I hope a lot of the people that do take the class are taking notes through AI and then taking the Joe Scarice vocabulary of English and translating that into something that makes sense. You know what I mean? So, but great, Amy, thanks for coming on, and Felix and Steven, thank you for being on here. I mean, listen, this has been a great support for me during this transition, and I can't thank people enough about the ones that did reach out to me with concern and support. Keeping my mindset in place and trying to stay focused. It was extremely difficult, but I stayed as focused as I could, stayed going to the gym, took the holistic approach about the whole thing. I think this week we're just going to be like plowing through everything now at this point. We're back on track. But it was definitely I mean, definitely an emotional roller coaster to have 64 loans in one place to say, hey, your operations are shutting down. Could be daunting to some people, depending on what level you're at and in your business. And I can tell you for a fact, if your brand matches up with your mindset, you should always be fine. It shouldn't be a big jump. It should just be a walk across. So, like 10 years ago, when Blackstone presented me the opportunity to get into asset-based lending, it wasn't a big transition because my focus was always going after the real estate investor. I always had that appetite and that passion toward that. So if whatever passion and appetite you have, burrow that hole and really look at where the opportunities will present themselves for you. I think that's the most important thing. And my question to anybody listening in, why aren't we connected on LinkedIn? Why aren't we connected on Facebook? Why aren't you reaching out to me and have a one-on-one, or Amy having a one-on-one? I mean, like, hell, man, Amy has got some great podcasts out there. And why aren't you reaching out to Stephen Franco to learn about the Northeast Pennsylvania market? How about Felix in Texas and Maryland? These gentlemen and ladies are putting their time in and value, very unscripted for any of you. I mean, why aren't we teaming up in your markets? Right? I mean, this is the time to align. You need, maybe there's a fresh thing that you could add to whatever you're doing to draw interest. Like for the realtors below, are you recruiting? Are you looking for more listings? Are you looking for more buyers? Like, what is your lane right now in fourth quarter? Don't worry about first quarter. You're right now, you got to keep the lights on today. And what is that? If you're an investor, what is your focus to the end of the year? What do you want to see accomplished? Like that's the mindset. Hyper focus into what you're doing. Micromanage it out. Don't alleviate the distractions. I want to thank our sponsors today. Mr. Yardell Perkins of Perkatech, providing social media analysis and strategy for real estate professionals nationwide. I'd like to thank MB Capital Solutions, where I'm a referral partner and I provide unsecured business lines of credit for investors, real estate professionals, real estate services, business to business, unsecured business lines of credit, facilitating and helping them strategize their growth. I'd like to thank Real Estate Mastermind Strategies, where we're offering now networking events in 4 or 5 states at this point. We're growing. We're going to hyper focus in that going into the first quarter. I want to thank, a couple other groups that have been of support mechanisms for me. Linda Pelagas at Realty 401. I want to thank also Realty Solutions and TCS Property Management, both where my licenses are held in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And those guys, I mean, TCS allows me to host some beautiful events in Philadelphia at a beautiful rooftop and secured building, and really it's allowed us to grow our reputation and brand here in Philadelphia with good events. So I want to thank a lot of those people. We're here every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my quote this morning, I am strong, I am smart, I am brave, I am loved, I am happy, I am creative, I am kind, and I am curious. I am enough. Thank you for engaging in this room this morning. We're here every 9 a.m. every Sunday morning, Eastern Standard Time, with a great another subject. Please follow Amy into the next room, and I'll be ending the room in the next 30 seconds. And thank you.